It's a very common struggle for all entrepreneurs, especially if you have a 9 to 5 and then you're building a business as well. All right, welcome everybody to your Tuesday lunch personal development moment brought to you by the Beyond 9 to 5 Club. Let me start with Jen and Claude. Like, what are some of the struggles that you guys are having with building your business so far? Maybe that would inspire this conversation and take us in a much different direction than what I'm thinking.
Sure. Uh, I think what I struggled with, at least this week, was just time management. So, um, getting myself back on track here. But yeah, I think as you kind of go through and get into a rhythm, I felt the disruption of it this last week, and so I feel like I'm just getting myself, staying on track and staying in the momentum has been something I struggled with at least this past week. So
Time management.
yeah,
All right. The monkey brain kicked in.
it did. Yeah.
So, what about you, Claude?
Yes, I also have a time management problem, and sometimes I have activities that are planned for my day. My 9 to 5s piss me off, in not piss me off, kind of take all my energy, and then I'm not able to follow with my plan for the day. And also, sometimes I'm really scared, like, am I gonna do this? Kicks in, but for a
Mhm.
few hours or maybe half a day, and then go back to a yes, I can do it. So I don't know if I'll be able to get over it and feel confident all day long, all year long.
Mhm. That's very interesting. So, this is a very, very common struggle that a lot of us go through. It's a very common struggle for all entrepreneurs, especially if you have a 9 to 5 and then you're building a business as well. So, something that always comes up is procrastination, right? You think
Yeah,
about doing something, and then you say, you know what? No, I'm going to do it this time because I want to get this done first, right?
yeah,
That seems like a valid excuse at that time.
yeah,
Then you find yourself being caught up with the other thing,
yeah.
right? And then you end up not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Do you understand why you procrastinate?
I do, I do.
What?
But
So why do you procrastinate, you think?
um, here's how my brain works. If I have project in my 9 to 5 that I haven't delivered, I don't have to. I don't want to get into any argument of any kind of. I'm sorry, I missed my deadline with my leader, right, or my manager. So if I have the problem in mind that I haven't solved, that block me to do anything else. And this is exactly what I'm going through most of the time.
And that's the routine, right? That's what you've always done in your job, and that's how you've always gotten success in your job. So
Yes,
that's exactly the same thing that you're doing.
yes.
Right. So, and all right. And Jen, you were gonna say something?
No, I was just thinking. I was trying to think of what makes me procrastinate. I know this week when I got thrown off. But as far as what makes me procrastinate, I don't know if I don't know
When
if I
did you
know. I
get
don't
thrown
know.
off?
So, well, jury duty. So I went to jury duty for the first time. It was definitely an interesting experience, but obviously wasn't planning for that. Like I'd never gone, right? So wasn't planning. And then got selected. So I had like 2 days where I was just sitting downtown in uh, in the courts. And I remember even thinking then I was a little bit distracted because in my mind, I had kind of been in a rhythm of doing things, and it disrupted that. And then same thing, I did have a W-2 thing come up that I just resolved today. So that was good. But what's interesting about these little things that come up, it's like things are going to come up, or at least I tell myself this, right? Like I know things are going to come up, um, but it just shouldn't disrupt as much as I thought it would, right? Like I guess I just didn't think that I would see um, such a big procrastination come at the other side of that. So yeah, that's just it's just something interesting.
So that's a very good point, right? One of the biggest things that we have to understand, especially when you have a 9 to 5 or you have a job that you've been doing for all these years and you're starting a business and you're doing a lot of things, is like one of the biggest things that you have to overcome that routine, that comfort
Yeah.
method of functioning that you've been always working to, because you got to think about your brain. Your brain is like a blank slate. It's like a machine that just does what is told, right? So over the years you've kind of like programmed yourself to work in a certain way, right? To be comfortable working in this certain way, and your brain has become accustomed to that, and it does that on a regular basis because it wants to keep you in that comfort zone. So it's like, okay, you know, for example, Claude, that when you got a project, nothing else matters. You just lock your brain and you work on that project until, because you don't want any kind of issues with your boss or whatever. So that's what you've been doing. But now you introducing something new, which is a business, into that routine, right? So when anything for that business comes, all right, the tendency is like you're gonna want to say, okay, let me just plan this around what I already have that's doing, right? So that's what you're thinking, and you justifying it by creating that time and saying, you know what, I'm gonna do this during that period of time when I don't have something going on, or this, that, or this excuses come on. Like all these valid excuses come up that you make it, right? But what you quickly realize is the time that you're pushing or procrastinating that thing to get done, it never gets done, right? So, like one of the biggest things that I learned along the because I am a master procrastinator. Like if there's like a PhD in procrastination, before I got into entrepreneurship, I had a double PhD in procrastination. I am so good, and I could come up with all the beautiful reasons on why this is not getting done now, why this needs to get done now, right? Or that this needs to get done at a certain time. But what I learned is like it's just comfort. A lot of procrastination comes from comfort, right? We don't want to step out of our comfort zone. We don't want to push
Mhm.
ourselves out of comfort. So your brain comes in, yeah, like your subconscious mind, which only purpose is to protect you and keep you comfortable, right? Keep you away from danger. It steps in and comes up with this excuse. Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good idea, but why don't we wait and do it this time? Or it's like, okay, yeah, I'll wait and do it this time. Or just wait and do it this time. So one of the things that I learned this from Tenny, by the way, because he's like the total opposite of who I am, right? I am the, and he learned this too. Like I am the procrastinator, and he's like, so we'll talk about something. I'll be like, yeah, yeah, we'll think, figure it out, then do it in 2 days. Let's do it now. Why don't we just do it now? Why don't we just call him now? Then before you know, he picks up his phone, he calls the person, and they get on the phone, and then the call goes well, and then all these things go. It's like the same story I told you about the Meetup, right, club. You
Yeah,
remember? Like
yeah,
when we were on the call, we were like, okay, get on meetup.com right now, register it. And we waited, right? Because if we don't, your brain is gonna come in and say, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Let me go home, sit on my computer, research meetups in College Park, and look at all this stuff and see maybe this one before I find this one. And it's very reasonable. The excuses that your mind comes up with are very, very reasonable, right? It makes complete sense. And that's what you want to do because you look at yourself as a reasonable person. You want to follow that reason. And that's what you're going to do. Then you procrastinate. And before you know, something else that is more comfortable, that you're more comfortable with comes in and occupy that space. Have you ever gone through a day? You feel so busy, but at the end of the day, you accomplish nothing.
oh, many times, many
Yes.
times, many
Absolutely.
times.
That is that aspect of human nature kicking in, right? Is that aspect of ourselves that wants us to keep us in this routine, in this rat race of the things that we're comfortable with. Because once you've gone through that fear, anytime you're trying to do something, even like for example, when each of you started your jobs, your very first shift, you was very, very uncomfortable. Right? You were probably scared, probably had all these problems, but once you go through it and you become used to it, now it's routine. It's
Yeah,
part of your comfort zone, right? So you could do it in your sleep. You could wake up every morning and do it in your sleep. You could spend your whole day doing stuff that is related to that job. But at the end of the day, you're like, man, I'm busy, but I didn't do anything. And you
yeah.
find yourself being carried away by other things so that you're more comfortable with. So almost everything, almost everything that keeps us from growing comes down to one word.
Com-
You know what that word is?
Yeah.
Comfort,
Fear.
fear. Yeah.
Almost everything, almost everything is the fear, right? You're comfortable and discomfort makes you afraid. Like anything that pushes you out of your comfort zone, your subconscious mind. There's one of my mentors that I used to listen that I listen to a lot. He says this word. It's like your subconscious mind is so insidious, right? You just like the way it steps in and keeps you from doing things. Do you guys know about the concept of your mind and your subconscious mind and your
Mhm.
conscious mind?
Yep.
Right? So,
Yep.
and just to remind you, like your subconscious mind, some people say controls 80%, but I've seen other data that shows that it controls 95% of our actions. 95% of our actions, and your conscious mind controls only 5%. And the way you get things in your subconscious mind is like by repetition, right? You do it over and over and over again and over again. Now your subconscious mind understands that, oh, this is something that needs to be done over and over again. So I'm just going to store it so we don't have to think about it before we do it the next time. It's like driving a car, right? You could get in your car in the morning and Claude and you hit 20 miles on 95 south before you realize, oh, I've been driving, right? In that moment, you're thinking about different things, but your subconscious mind has become so used to this path that it just kicks in and it takes you and you're safe, right? It keeps you safe towards the road because it's that machine that is going in that way. So so it is very powerful, right? And it can keep you, when you start on this journey, it can keep you from doing the things that you want to do. I am saying this in particular because I am one very good example of someone that had to go to like an immense reprogramming of myself in order to be able to do the things that I'm doing, right? And you can do that too, right? You could change this around. So the most important thing is becoming with that awareness of this facet of yourself, of your nature, right? Which is your subconscious mind, how it works. Then now, how do you hack it? How do you tap into it to your advantage to give it the command so it starts repeating the things that you want to do all the time,
Mhm.
right? So that's how you do it. I'll give you one good example of something that we did, right? That changed a lot of stuff for us as well. So when we started on this journey, we were part of a personal development community, and during one of the summers, the community we launched something like a 90-day run, right? It's called Raven Run. We were part of their Hardy community. He did something called 90-day Raven Run. So Raven is this guy in Miami Beach that every morning always runs on the beach, and he developed a friendship with him. So he challenged every member of that community to run a mile a day for 90 days, right? To run a mile a day for 90 days. Prior to that challenge, I was not a runner. I never considered myself a runner. I probably had been on the treadmill maybe two times or two or three times. I wasn't a runner, right? I could do other exercise and stuff, but running was really not my thing. But we took upon that challenge, and that summer, Tenny and I ran every single day for 90 days, right? 90 days every morning we get up and run. Like we will go out to conferences, go out, go hang out, go to parties and go to bed at 3 a.m. and at 7 a.m. before we start the day, we go out and run a mile, right? So what that did, that repetition, that constant repetition, like got me to the point where if I go a week without running, I feel like something really profound in my life is missing. But what that also did is because I have to wake up, at that time I was still working in my job. I was working in the hospital. So my job starts from 6:30 because we start cases in the OR at 7 a.m. I had to be in the hospital at 6:30. So my job starts at 6:30. So I have to wake up every morning, right? At 5 a.m. to go for a run, right? So, but when I wake up now in the morning at 5 a.m., I develop now a morning routine, which is something that a lot of successful people talk about. Is like that power hour of the morning or that time of the day where you're focusing on yourself, right? You guys, excuse me for a second, guys.
Adi, how do you deal with the procrastination thing? Oh, it's back.
No, I'll let Adi talk. Adi,
Oh,
how do you deal with it?
Yeah, the way I deal with procrastination, and just like Leslie said, if he's a double PhD, I'm a triple PhD. Like, I
A
though
lot of
though
experts in the room.
though he heads us all, he's my boss kind of thing, but I am his boss when it comes to production. And uh I personally have like multiple things going on. It's Excite and you got other stuff going on, my own professional side of things, just like we all are going through
Yeah.
right here. But how I deal with it is I try not to overthink it. So
Yeah.
if I'm in the mood for working, like, okay, I want to do it now, I just get down to it. I don't question it. It might be in the middle of the movie. It might be 1 a.m. at during midnight. If I have an idea and I feel like I gotta do this, I just get up and do it. And that what leaves me with is enough time to think when I don't want to work.
Oh.
So, say for example, uh, I'll give you a small example. Like at Excite, we're like always in a rush, and that's a good thing. When we take a project or we want to do something, we don't care if it's just 2 days from here. Like Leslie and Tenny would just come up and say, "We want to do a meetup." Okay. When? Next week.
Okay.
Okay. And we haven't had any concepts. That means building a website. That means marketing it. That means calling out people, reaching out people. We stop thinking that time is on our side. Time is never on our side. You give a marketing team 2 months to work on, they will consume 2 months. You give them
Yeah.
2 days, they will do the same thing they could do in 2 months in 2 days. It's just getting up your ass and kind of doing it. But what I try to learn over the years is not to put myself into time constraints. Like, oh, this is my working hour, 9 to 5, 5 p.m. onwards, I'm done. No, I might do nothing 9 to 5, but then I'll work all night. So when you kind of free your mind from the constraints that we ourselves have built for us over time, schools have taught us that. Our upbringing has taught us that. This is your playtime. This is your work time. This is that. When you free yourself of time, then you would not believe it sounds kind of ironic. Then time actually is on your side. You suddenly find, oh, I have a lot of time. What am I going to do now? Because maybe you woke up 4 a.m. in the morning and accomplished something in the 3 hours when the world was sleeping, and the world wakes up and you got nothing to do because you've done for the day. So that is what works for me, that I do not put myself in any kind of constraints, chains. That's why I know most of our mentees at people at Excite, they tell me, Addy, it's 9:30 p.m. in the night. Tenny calls me, Leslie calls me at 10 p.m. I pick up. Because for me, getting that whatever they have in their mind or whatever our mentees have their mind or whatever my clients have their mind, getting them off that uh, uh, questions, the feedback they might want to share, the ideas they want to share. If we just get it done, then we don't have a to-do list. Literally, like I have 100 things in my to-do, but if you ask me how you're gonna do it, I don't know. I don't care because I just know that I gotta do this.
Yeah.
And it automatically comes to you. Like for example, Claude, you bought in that you're stuck in a project. I'm the same guy. You tell me this project, if something else comes in between, I lose my mind. Like, oh my God, I'm not gonna do this. This is crazy because I got so much on my plate.
Yeah.
But then what I feel is I do what's important. I do what naturally comes to me. So if the project is important, but I
Yeah.
am not able to concentrate on that project, I would just say I'm not doing it now.
Yeah.
What do I feel like? And it's sometimes you would not believe it is counterproductive or productive because it worked for me. 2:30 in the afternoon, I've had long meetings, I've done a lot of work, and my mind is buzzing. And people would say, go lay down, take a chill pill, 20 minutes, take a break, take a walk. I go up and start playing a game. I'll just play a game for 30 minutes, like crash out. 30 minutes is just super intensive gaming. And 90% of the times you'll not believe it's just beautiful by the end of that 30 minutes. Something that has been stuck in my mind for the past week that I don't have an answer to, it just comes in. And I just leave my controller, go back to my computer, I'm doing it. So I think in all of us, the walls and the doors that we've built inside our minds kind of hold us back from what we're capable of.
Yeah.
So hope that
Yeah.
answers your question.
Yeah, it does, and I kind of understand that because I know for myself that very late in the night I'm super productive. I've been working on
There you go.
crazy project. I stop everything, go and do whatever I want by 10 p.m. Start, and by 3 p.m. I'm so proud of what I've done. So, but I can't do that with a 9 to 5 because I need to be able to wake up early again, which creates a tension between what my body naturally is kind of easy to go with. I need to kind of go by the society rules. Yeah.
So that this is some really good points, right? And there are a lot of things that I picked up from that. So like one of them is one of the things that Adi mentioned, which is like just get your brain off the thinking of the trying to figure out and then just let it be, right? And then great ideas will come,
Yeah.
right? And that is like a common theme that you hear with a lot of people. You sometimes you just have to uncheck from the matrix,
Yeah.
right? And let your brain like get to work and figure out solutions for you. Like for me, like some of the best ideas I have in the shower, to the point where I've told my wife I'm going to put a computer screen in my shower so that anything comes up, I just type it in there and say before I forget. So AI can translate it. But there's just something about an activity or when I run, right?
I
Or
do
when I
when I
run.
run too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you're doing something
With
where your
no
brain
music,
doesn't
no music, no podcast, just running.
just running, then
Yeah.
you're it's like things come up from the surface and pop up, right? So that's very important because as long as you get in this journey, you got to find that time to quiet your mind. For some people it's going for a walk, like going for a walk in the woods, right? Just go there, walk, and then thoughts just come. You write them down. Some really great ideas that come to you and move you forward. But Claude, the other thing you talked about was like your most productive hour. You say your
Yeah.
productive hour is in the night.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that you know about yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you could time block your week in such a way where you know what, maybe starting off because you have your 9 to 5, maybe 3 times in
Yeah.
the week. You have this power hour, maybe it's 2 hours where you block it and nothing else. You work on
Yeah.
your business that time. That's when you take on the big projects, the things that you need to work on. Maybe it's like presenting a webinar or doing something like that, or underwriting a deal. You do it like that, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's in the morning. Right. For me, it's in the morning. Like I love morning. When I went to boarding school back home in Cameroon, when we had like good exams or tough exams, I used to wake up at 3 a.m. and study till like 8,
Oh,
right? And that's the best time for me to study. That's when my mind is like so nice. So I wake up every day right now. Even now, I wake up every day at 5 a.m. Right? I
beautiful.
wake up every day at 5 a.m. I meditate. That's something else that I do that helps me calm my mind. I meditate in the morning. Then after that, I work on something for an hour and a half, then go for a run. Then I come back and start my day. Now, when I come and start my day, right, everything comes up. Excite Capital, my family, all this other stuff comes up. Guess what? I've already been productive for the first 2 hours of the day, so I don't feel bad about it, right? So
Yeah.
you have to lock in that productive hours. So you guys keep going. I'll be right back.
Yeah. And as for me, early in the morning, I don't know at the
Claude, I think you're muted.
No, I can hear
I'm,
you.
uh, I
I
don't
can
think
hear you.
I'm near it. Yeah.
Okay, now
Okay.
now I
No,
can hear you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me in the morning, when I wake up in the morning, my morning is really like a slow going, no noise, just trying to. Maybe the only thing I can do is maybe go for a walk or run. If I want to read, I will go back to sleep immediately. Like I will be like, oh. So I don't know. When I see someone like Leslie early in the morning, energized. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know why why I'm not like him.
Yeah,
I
so
personally think. Go ahead, Lily. Sorry.
no, everybody is different.
Yeah.
Like everybody's different. When it comes like 10 p.m., I'm a zombie at 10 p.m.
Yeah, Leslie's out by 10. You call him, you're not gonna get a call.
Oh
Same here.
man,
Hmm.
11 in the morning, 11 p.m. I'm there. It's like 10 a.m. to me. I'm super excited to do whatever I want to do. Midnight, I'm here. 1 a.m. I'm here, but in the morning, don't wake me up. But I don't know if I need to change or just adapt.
And another thing, I kind of feel that. By the way, hi, Flucky.
Hi.
Great to have you in. Uh,
Thank you.
so another thing I feel that all our life we've been conditioned, especially in school, and I believe it or not blame school for this because we've been conditioned to do things in order, and it's not the result that counts; it's the work that we put in counts. For example, we get holiday homeworks, we get after school homeworks, we get this, we get that. Who cares about the results? The teachers would most often care about, did you work at home? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do that? And that changed our mind. So we kind of got into a zone where the number of hours we put into something actually is more satisfying to us. For example, you got a presentation to build and you end up spending 5 hours, you suddenly feel amazing. Oh my God, there's no one better than me. I put 5 hours in. But someone, when I was a kid, told me that, Addie, the best people and the best efficient people and the best thinkers are the laziest damn dudes on this planet. And and that stuck with me. Like, I'm lazy, I'm a procrastinator. So you tell me to build a presentation, and I built millions of them. The first thing that comes to mind is I have this idea. What tool can help me build a presentation without me spending 2 hours in it?
I'm putting my papers
And I
together.
can just focus on my idea rather than writing and building and
Oh,
graphically making it perfect.
I'm
When
almost
you
done.
start thinking like that,
I just need
the
references to
time that
print.
you put in for each amount of work that goes in your day, it'll drastically change. And now you'll be in a position where you feel like, oh my God, I've done 45 things today and I still got 5 hours left. What am I going to do? And that's where I sometimes feel like like I start working at 7 in the morning, and by 4:30 in the evening, I've done so much. I'm exhausted, but my mind is saying, and it's actually a negative thing because my mind keeps telling me, you've not done enough because you took shortcuts. You did this,
Yeah.
you did this. But the fact is, I can guarantee I did 10 times more because I was being lazy. So if you start thinking on those lines, I'm pretty sure most of your fears will also go away.
That's interesting. Yeah, when like Leslie brought up, being super busy but getting nothing done. What's funny about that is like how quick the days go. But there's definitely been times where, like you said, like I get up and I'm doing all these things, and then I look and I'm like, oh, it's 10 a.m. That's it. Like I have so much time. Like how is it that some of these days I feel like it just goes and I get nothing done, but then it's like I'm knocking all this stuff out. I'm like, oh, I still have a whole day ahead of me. It's like, how did that happen? So yeah, it is
Yeah.
interesting. I saw a quote too. Said like if you always need a plan, you'll miss the miracle. Just move,
Yep.
right? So yeah, that actually helped me get back on track because I felt like I just started jumping around to different and doing like that busy work, right? Just jumping around to different things, not really completing one thing. Or like distracting myself with other stuff, and then I saw that, and because I felt like I couldn't get through what I needed to, I had to write it down or do whatever I needed to do, right? Map it out, like whatever kind of excuses I was making up to avoid it at the time. But then I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, just pick one. It doesn't have to be in order, like you were saying, right? Just pick something and do it. And then I did it and I got it done. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, I could do like all these things right now. All these things that I thought it would take me a week to do, I could probably do them today. So it is
I
funny how your mind kind of, plays these tricks on you. And once you break through it, you can see, like, there's been plenty of times where I've seen the productivity, and I've even proved to myself that the things that I'm doing is working, because when I do those things, I'm the most productive. But but then it's like inevitably,
spot
yeah,
on. I agree. Spot on.
inevitably I fall into this and have to get back
school
on track. But yeah,
school is the
res-
biggest culprit here. Like school, like let me explain why. So in school, we were taught like this is the how we all grew up, and we thought it's like, okay, if you have a problem, you gotta go do a little bit of research, do a little look at this, then you before you think about solving it. And then sometimes when you solve it, the answer is wrong and you fail, right? And when you fail, you have consequences, right? And those consequences affect you. You might get kicked out of school, you might get isolated and all this other stuff, right? But and then when we get in real life, right, an idea comes to your head. You want to go through that same process of analysis, figure out, get all this stuff, then because you don't want to fail, you're so scared to fail. And then guess what? You end up not doing it because that fear kicks you out. Like I cannot, like I'm glad Tenny is not in this call on this call because his head will get big if I start talking right now. But I cannot tell you the number of things that I learned from just being around this guy, right? He completely eliminated my like helped me with my procrastination. So in our world, right, in anesthesia, I'm a nurse anesthetist by training. That career fits well with me because I call myself a critical thinker, which is another word for procrastinator or analysis paralysis,
yeah,
PhD degree holder, right? So because in anesthesia, we got to think about everything ahead of time. We got to think about 10 steps, right? Because if you don't, the patient will die. So you think about all these things. Okay, what can go wrong? This can go wrong. This can go wrong. This can. You do all of that so that the surgery goes smoothly. Felt naturally in that training and I did well in it because it matches well with me. But then you take that and you bring that to business in real life and you are done,
yep,
right? I cannot tell you the number of times that we're just thinking about something. We might be in a room because Dr. Oni and I were in healthcare. We might be thinking about it. Okay, let's do so. Then it's like, no, let's just do it. Before you want to do it, he just picks up the phone, he calls. Hey, buddy, hey, this, that. And before you know, we got a deal. Or we got an investor. Or something big comes up. And you're like, wait, all these theories that you come up, it's not true.
yeah,
One of the things that you have to learn is, I don't know if you believe in God or whatever divine power that you believe in, but I do believe that we are all connected to some kind of divine intelligence, and those intelligence comes like ideas come to you, right? You might just be walking in your day, like Adi saying, playing a video game and something pops up. Do it immediately. Do
hmm
it now. Do not waste time. An idea might pop into you, just call this manager that I used to talk with. Don't go and research him on LinkedIn. You have his number, dial the phone and call him immediately and just check on him, right? Try doing that. Try doing that every single day. When something comes to your head, you do it immediately. Something just do it immediately. And do it immediately. Then, Jennifer, you're gonna get through your day from 7 to 10 a.m. and be like, oh my God, I've accomplished so much today in this short period of time. What happened? Right?
yeah,
Because we did not get stuck in that programming of like, oh, what if this goes this way? What if that goes this way? No, just do it. Like,
yeah,
just do it. Life is not that complicated. There's no such thing as failure, by the way.
right,
There's no such thing as failure. There's only one thing, and that's success. Is the end point, right? That's success. There's only one destination is success. Now, along the way, you might get a little bit of re-guidance. That's what a lot of people call as failure. You might take this path and it says, you know what, turn this way. But you look at it and like, oh my God, I failed. People are gonna make fun of me. The whole world is ridiculing me, and then you stop, right? There's no such thing, right? For example, if you ever go to like a stream or river, or you go on a walk on one of these parks that has water, just observe water as it flows from the top of the hill down, right? As it
hmm
flows down, you notice that there are a lot of rocks around the way, right? When water meets a rock, You don't see that water beat on that rock and start saying, "Hey, what's this? Like, get out of my way." This, that, that. It just
That's right.
gently flows around that rock and keeps going so smooth. Or it goes above the rock and keeps going so smooth. And it keeps going and it keeps going and never stops. That's truly how life is supposed to be, right? Once you've identified where you want to go, nothing should stop you. Absolutely nothing. You're gonna get different kind of guidance along the way. You might go, this deal doesn't work. Okay, you move around. You learn the lesson, you move along, and you keep going. But nothing should ever stop you. The other mistake we make sometimes is like we put a finite time to things, right?
Mm,
And say, okay, if I don't get this by this time, then that means it's not working. If that thing exists and it's still a viable thing, there's no such thing. When you eliminate that relationship from time, you actually get things much faster.
yep.
But when you have that pressure of time, like, oh my God, I gotta get this by then, I gotta get this by then, that's when the fear kicks in. That's when your subconscious mind comes in with all these weapons, all these tools, and then starts helping you avoid it by giving you all these reasons to procrastinate. No, we'll do it next week.
Yeah.
Uh, for like, I want to see your face on camera when I'm saying this. I'm just joking. No, we will do
Okay.
someone
Okay, I'm here.
I, I'm just joking.
All right.
I'm
No,
picking on,
I'm
I'm
here.
picking on,
I'm here.
I know, I'm picking on for like it today, but that is the reason, right? We're
Yeah.
gonna come up with all these excuses, but it's just like procrastinating. And what I think again, a lot of these things are my own lessons that I've learned because I had to really overcome a lot of fears, a lot of irrational fears before I could be able to do a lot of these things that I'm doing. And if the irrational fears presented themselves as excuses, as
Mm,
reasons why not to do this, as very, I'm talking about like very valid excuses, very valid when it comes to your mind, right? But when
Very
you don't
valid.
do but again, I heard this quote from, and I'm going to send you guys this video after this call. It's a YouTube interview by Tom Bilyeu and Vusi Tembekwayo. That interview alone is like 20 personal development books all put together, right? Listen to it and listen to it over and over again. Right? It's Tom Billy and Vusi Tembakwayo. I'll send you guys it to you to on WhatsApp. But one of the things that he talks about, which I like, this line is like, your excuses are valid, but you either get your excuses or you get progress. You don't get to have both, right? So when
Yep.
these
Wow.
excuses come, when these things come, yeah, they are valid. But if you want progress, you move. If you want progress, you move. When that idea comes, you say, "Oh no, let me go think about it." No, you want progress, you move. Movement is progress. Thinking does not lead to progress.
Sure.
I'm going to leave it
It's
there. I don't know. Do you have anything else to add?
Not really. Just like one last thing. What you're facing, Jen, Claude, probably Flake. I'm not sure about Flake, but could
No,
be.
I included. I'm really trying my best, but it's almost like, when you're trying to run and you're right there doing this and then you find out that you're still on the same spot. That's
mhm.
where I
But
am
but
right
but
now.
here's the cool thing. Here's the cool thing. Excite Capital, you all see as mentors. Of course, they're giving great value, but $217 million asset, $1,160, whatever. Every single morning when we have a meeting, we have the same fears even today. That when if we're going to do this, if we are going to be able to do this. But the only thing I think we do right, and that I have Leslie and Tenny to thank, is that do not assume that someone's or something's going to fail until you've tried it. And it is like a marathon every single morning. Every time we do something new, we do a new raise. Grow Park, be an example. We picked up the biggest asset, and everyone, Leslie can be a testament to that. Everyone we knew said, "You guys cannot do this." And we've questioned ourselves like multiple times. I'm pretty sure even I'm not privy to that. Leslie, Tenny, and Dr. Oni sat down and said, "Oh, can we do this?" but they came out of the meeting or their discussion saying, we will do this. That
We will
is,
do
I
this.
think, can we do this to we will do this is the only difference at Excite that I feel is so powerful that it has literally changed the way I even work. Because now when I want to do something, I don't question myself. I just say, how
I will
soon
do
can I
this.
get this done? And I think that sums all of it. Like,
Yeah.
so don't get beat, like get yourself beat up that, hey, I'm not getting anywhere. Even, and I think this is one more important thing. The more you know about something, the less you'll feel that you know. The more you learn about anything, you'll feel that you're a dumbass. And if that is what you are, then you're perfect. Because you will never know everything at any point in your life. And that is how I think everyone at Excite operates, that we don't know nothing. Let's try it out and let's just do it. So I think don't beat yourself up.
And if you're scared, don't feel bad. Trust me, even to this day, after 270 million of assets, when our LOI, every time our LOI gets accepted, I have this sinking feeling in my stomach,
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like, oh boy, here it comes again. So I always do. But then when you do that, when I do that, again, you have to reframe. For me, this is what works for me, and I'm going to share with you. Hopefully, it helps you as well. So I function well by understanding things, right? And understanding things from the bottom core. So when I understand that a fear that I'm having means I'm growing, when that fear comes, now I reframe it as growth and I'm able to move forward, right? So now when that deal comes, I have that sinking feeling in my stomach. Okay, I know I'm doing the right thing because every time I have this fear it means I'm growing. Now, if a deal comes and I'm like, it's nothing, I question that. Like, am I walking in the right path? Because I'm growth oriented. I want to keep growing, right? So as you learn, you guys, we're going to be sharing a lot of books, a lot of tips with you guys. As you guys learn these understandings, right? Start gaining that ability to be able to reframe these things in your mind because once your mind has the understanding that this is something that is good for me, that's in line, then you're going to keep moving, keep moving. And then if you want something to stick, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Force yourself to repeat it. A lot of the stuff you're doing right now is not part of your routine. Don't think it's going to get in your routine in 2 days. You're lying to yourself.
Mhm.
Like the first few weeks is going to be rough. Force it. One of the things I did is I have a big calendar on the wall. When I want to lock in a new habit, I put it on that calendar, and every day I perform it at mark an X. I mark an X, and it has to be a train tracks until it gets to 90 days. If it breaks, I start back from scratch. All right. So every year I pick one or two habits that I want to lock in. And I do that for 90 days. Once you do that, it becomes natural. When you don't do it, like even reading books, when I graduated anesthesia school, I promised myself I'll never read a book again in my life. But now if I go a week without reading a book or listening to a book, it feels like something is missing in my life. So again, and you guys are gonna start this as you go along. So don't be discouraged. All right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a great conversation. Thanks, guys.
great
All right,
Thank
conversation.
guys.
you.
All right. See you guys next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yep.
See
See
you.
you.
All right. All right,
Thank
All
you.
bye.
right.
Bye.
Bye bye.